What is going on, everybody? In this video, we're providing you a state of the market and stock picks for December 16th, 2022. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, consider subscribing, as I do provide daily and weekly updates to get you prepared for the day and the week ahead in this glorious market. Now, today we had a digestion. We started to gap down overnight and then continued to sell off pretty heavy. Going over a lot of the different things that I talked about yesterday and understanding that 2023 is looking very bleak on the front and actually having a pivot. This is the digestion you're seeing. Again, um, the market is going to be very sensitive to data as well. And so that is something we need to keep in mind moving forward, especially trying to gauge where the consumer is. Bank of England also came in with a 50-point basis hike as well this morning. And coming from a place essentially where, they haven't raised rates in about a decade, and then now they're starting to raise rates at such a rapid pace, and it's showing that this quantitative easing is absolutely going to wreak havoc on markets, and we're seeing that with all the layoffs, and then we're going to see this prolonged all throughout 2023. Yes, rate increases will probably stop. We got a couple more FOMCs that they are projecting to have about two or three more 25 point basis moves during that time, and then they'll hold it there essentially all throughout 2023, and then they'll start dialing back in 2024. This is the digestion you're seeing. Banks are still holding today, but tech took an absolute beating today. So we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see if that is the case moving forward. And so today, going into tomorrow, again, not really, unless we continue with the digestion and the fear of what's happening. I'm kind of really watching this 39.23. If we open below this tomorrow, or even if we stay flat and try to retest it tomorrow, I could see us some selling off pretty heavy tomorrow. Again, tomorrow is a big expiration as well. I believe it's a quad witching tomorrow. So we got a lot of money coming off the books tomorrow. So you get more sell pressure coming in tomorrow. There's also rumors about Elon, or not rumors, but Elon's been selling a lot of stock lately as well. They are saying that he could potentially be selling whatever kind of shares he's trying to get in. Is tomorrow's the last day he can sell, and so you might get more sell pressure in Tesla. So there's just a lot of negative stuff going on, and again, realizing that data is going to become very sensitive again. So it's not just going to be the core and monetary policy. Again, non-farms and all those are going to carry a lot of weight again. Again, trying to determine where that consumer is. But with that being said, we have to see what our plan is moving forward. Are we going to continue to chop? I can see us naturally pulling back since we did have that run. Something I've always talked about is this essentially institution getting in. This was going essentially into our earnings run. Now we're sold off. We got 2 more weeks of holiday. Expect us to hit some sort of support. Again, we got support all the way down here at 37.56. Or roughly, it can hold roughly the 3900. It really depends on how we open. If we do break that 3900 and stay below that tomorrow, this thing could sell off even more, again down to potentially the 37.56, 3800 roughly. It's going to be that the psychological level that will hold, and then again right below that you get that 37.50. So again, options expiration, you get a lot of extra sell pressure tomorrow. Where are we going to land tomorrow is a question. We didn't have any sort of pump at all today. It was absolutely no breaks to the downside. Again, a very beaten market. You're continuing to give more prolonged bad news, which is not great. Again, the market has been driving off a hopium that we get a 50-point basis move and a pivot. We got the 50-point basis move, but something that the Fed have always talked about is that it's going to be prolonged. It's not going to be they're not going to turn around and pivot quickly. And something that they have to sustain it to make sure that inflation doesn't come back, that they can keep it at a certain level and inflation won't rise again. And so this is where we're at. Again, I don't know how much selling. There's potential of people liquidating stock, although it's not going to be a lot. I don't think that's going to have a big influence on the market itself, unless it's institutions. But nonetheless, things will be interesting to see how they're going to play out. And then you have, again, the consumer, right? There's another crisis that's building. Is something going to unfold from that? Is a black swan going to come out? And if that happens, do we see another 10 to 15% correction? Is kind of what we're looking at. So tomorrow, again, it's going to matter. We're going to have extra sell pressure tomorrow. So again, really watching, again, that 39.20. We want to be back above that if we want to try to sustain anything at this point. I think we will naturally come back even further. The question is where do we land tomorrow? And then I think we'll be pretty stagnant for the next 2 weeks after that. And then potentially getting into earnings mode again. And then seeing what's coming. A lot of expectations are really bad for earnings. So we're going to have to see how that plays out there. But so SPX is, we'll see how that ends up tomorrow and then go from there. Bitcoin, again, still holding very well. It hasn't pulled back that much, even with the market and the SAM stuff that's going on. The dollar, again, it's really close to that 102 support. It started to pump back up. Question is, can it break back through 105? Breaks back through 105, then you're going to get some more selling. So that's something we also need to keep in mind there. Again, this isn't going to be as influenced as if there's an event, it'll override whatever kind of technicals you're seeing on the dollar. Tesla, again, massive selling by Elon. And I think, again, because the successor might be announced here on the next earnings, it's a lot of rumor, but it's not for certain. But if that's the case, this thing could potentially lose another 30, 40, maybe even 50 points if he announces that. So that's something to keep in mind, especially because he's been selling so much. It'd be interesting to see where it goes. BA, again, holding this pattern, very overextended, waiting for this thing to pull back. Again, you don't want BA to pull back. BA has been it's kind of a safe haven on top of everything being value. So kind of being mindful of that. We'll see what happens there. Banks look like they wanted to give out today. JPM is playing with this, essentially this 129.69. Does break below this, you're going to get a nice, more added fuel to the downside tomorrow. GS is already broke. So you're going to see potentially another big drop here down to the 328 on GS. And then, as we know, we've been talking about Bank of America. They've just been beaten down ever since that comment and continues to be beaten down. So that is pretty much what I got. Again, tomorrow is really going to depend on how we open. I don't want to make this video too long. Kind of save it for the weekly updates. Again, there's not much more going on other than added sell pressure tomorrow because of the quad witching, and then Elon selling shares. Apple, all your safe havens are starting to give way, which is not good. It's showing weakness, and I think people are feeling the impact. It's ultimately the digestion of what just happened with monetary policy, Powell, and the core CPI. And I understand that can kind of lag over the next, or hover over the next couple of days, and so you're getting the digestion of that, and then you have to see where we land, like 3 or 4 days. So sometime next week we'll kind of see where we land, and then take it from there. So again, I'll get more into that in the weekly updates. So look forward to that this weekend. But aside from that, have a great day, manage risk, and I will see you guys later.